You have a great idea, a project, a goal, a new version of you. You're excited, you start strong. And then, nothing. The fire fizzles out and you're left with that familiar, sinking feeling of guilt. You look at the half-finished work and you ask yourself, what is wrong with me? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what part of me is trying to protect me by making me quit? That probably sounds a little crazy. Why would any part of you want you to fail? Well, what if all that self-sabotage, the procrastination, the distraction, the sudden loss of energy, isn't actually an enemy you need to crush with willpower? What if it's a misguided bodyguard? A part of your mind that's desperately trying to keep you safe from the success you want, because on some deep level, it thinks that success is dangerous. For years, you've probably blamed yourself. You've told yourself you need more discipline, more motivation. You've downloaded the apps, bought the planners, and tried to force your way to the finish line, only to end up back in the exact same spot, feeling even more frustrated. It is not your fault. You've just been fighting the wrong battle. To figure this out, I went deep into the most powerful books on the psychology of achievement, works by pioneering thinkers who've mapped out exactly why we get in our own way. And I've synthesized their most profound insights from books like The Mountain Is You, Psycho-Cybernetics, and The Big Leap into a single, powerful system. Because let's be honest, the stakes are high. If you don't learn this, you'll be stuck in that same loop forever, and your best ideas will continue to die in the graveyard of good intentions. But if you stick with me, you won't just get a few productivity hacks. You will learn how to perform a fundamental identity shift. You'll understand the one hidden mechanism in your mind that's been holding you back. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. It all comes down to a hidden thermostat that controls your self-image. And right now, it's set to a temperature that makes quitting feel normal. In this video, I'm going to hand you the blueprints to find that thermostat, grab the dial, and permanently reset it to finisher.
So how do we normally try to fix this problem? When that project stalls or the motivation vanishes, what's the first thing we do? We blame ourselves. We declare war on our own laziness. We think the answer is more force, more willpower, more discipline. We tell ourselves, this time I'm going to be tougher. I'll wake up earlier, I'll work longer, I'll just grind it out. We download the new app, buy the new planner, and watch motivational videos, hoping for that one magic bullet that will finally make us stick with it. We try to power through. And for a little while, it might even work. You can force yourself for a day, maybe even a week. But what always happens next? It feels like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You can do it, but it takes an incredible amount of energy. You have to strain, you have to focus, your muscles are shaking from the constant downward pressure. You are fighting the very nature of the ball, which is to float. And the second you get distracted, the moment your focus slips for even a second, pop! The ball shoots to the surface. All that effort is wasted. And you're left standing there, soaking wet, exhausted, and feeling like a failure. This is exactly what happens when you try to use brute force willpower to finish a project. That feeling of constant strain, the exhaustion, the inevitable moment where you slip up and the project springs back into the I'll do it later pile, that's the beach ball. You've been told you failed because you weren't strong enough to hold it down, but that's not the truth. The truth is, you were never supposed to hold it down in the first place. You're not fighting a lack of discipline. You're fighting a powerful, automatic system in your own mind. A system that's been designed to do one thing with incredible efficiency: keep you exactly where you are. But what is that system? And why is it so determined to stop you right before you succeed? Well, that brings us to the real turning point, to a hidden mechanism in your mind that I call the identity thermostat. So, if it's not about willpower, what is this powerful system you're actually fighting against? Well, the answer is the most important psychological discovery of the last century. It's the concept of your self-image. And to understand it, I want you to imagine something in your mind right now. Think of your self-image as a thermostat. Each of us has one, and this thermostat has a set point, a temperature that it considers normal. This isn't a temperature in degrees, it's a temperature of identity. It's the sort of person I am.
For years, without realizing it, your thermostat has been programmed to a very specific setting. It might say, I'm a creative person who is great at starting things, but I get bored easily and I'm not very good at finishing them. Sound familiar? That's your normal. Now, here's what happens. You start a new project. It's going well. You're making real progress. You're getting close to the finish line. The temperature in the room starts to rise. You are exceeding your normal setting. You are acting like a finisher. And that's when the alarm goes off. Deep inside your brain, a warning bell rings. It says, whoa, 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 this isn't you. You're a starter, remember? Not a finisher. This is getting too hot. This is uncomfortable. And your brain, in its infinite wisdom, does exactly what a good thermostat is supposed to do when it gets too hot. It turns on the air conditioner to cool things back down to normal. And what is your brain's air conditioner? It's a system of self-sabotage. It has a few favorite tools. There's procrastination, that sudden, overwhelming urge to clean your entire house instead of writing the next chapter. There's doubt, that little voice in your head that whispers, this isn't very good anyway. Who are you to do this? There's distraction, the magnetic pull of your phone, the endless scroll, anything to avoid the discomfort of finishing. Or my personal favorite, conflict. You go and pick a fight with your partner over nothing, creating a big emotional drama that drains all your energy and gives you the perfect excuse not to work. All of these behaviors have one single purpose: to stop your progress, kill your momentum, and bring the temperature right back down to your familiar, comfortable identity of someone who doesn't finish. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you, it's just running its program perfectly. It's keeping your outer world consistent with your inner blueprint. You don't finish because your identity won't let you. But here's the thing. Once you realize you're not fighting yourself, but just a faulty program on a thermostat, that's when everything changes. Because if it's a program, it can be rewritten. And in the rest of this video, I'm going to give you the 3-step process to do exactly that. We're going to grab the dial and reset your identity for good.
So, how do we reset this identity thermostat? How do we take that dial that's been stuck on starter for years and crank it up to finisher? It's not a one-time fix. It's a 3-step reprogramming system. Let's start with Pillar 1. Pillar 1. Meet your misguided bodyguard. That system of self-sabotage we talked about, the procrastination, the doubt, the distraction, it isn't your enemy. Think of it as a misguided bodyguard. Its intentions are good. It is genuinely trying to protect you. The only problem is, it's working off of a very old, faulty instruction manual. It's trying to protect you from something you fear. For example, maybe your subconscious learned somewhere that truly successful people get picked apart and scrutinized by the world. So, when you get close to finishing that project, your bodyguard panics and says, abort mission. If we succeed, we'll be judged. And it pulls the fire alarm of procrastination to save you. Or maybe it believes that if you become truly successful, you'll leave your family and friends behind, that you'd be betraying your roots. So it protects your sense of belonging by ensuring you never get too far ahead. The first step isn't to fight the bodyguard. You can't win. The first step is to get curious. The next time you feel that powerful urge to procrastinate, to get distracted, or to start a fight, just pause for a second and ask it, what are you trying to protect me from right now? Just asking the question changes everything. You stop being a victim of the feeling and become an observer. Pillar 2. De-hypnotize yourself from the lie. Once you understand the why behind the sabotage, you have to dismantle the core belief that gives your bodyguard its power. And that core belief is a lie. The belief is, I am not a finisher. Right now, you are hypnotized by that idea. You've accepted it as a fundamental fact about yourself. But here's the crucial insight. Your graveyard of unfinished projects isn't proof that your identity is true. The identity is what created the graveyard in the first place. Your brain has just been proving your own self-image right all along. So you have to consciously, deliberately break the spell. Here's the action. I want you to find one of your unfinished projects. Look at it and I want you to say this out loud. The belief that I am not a finisher is a lie I have accepted. Say it again. The belief that I am not a finisher is a lie I have accepted. Doing this is like waking up. It separates you from the belief. This single act shatters the hypnosis and gives you the power to write a new story. Pillar 3. Practice in the theater of your mind. This is where we go from defense to offense. This is where we actively install the new identity of a finisher. And we do it using what might be the most powerful tool you possess, your imagination. Here is a scientific fact that will change your life. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real experience and an experience that is imagined vividly and in detail. This is the secret used by Olympic athletes, astronauts, and top surgeons. They mentally rehearse success before they ever perform. And you're going to do the same thing in what's called the theater of your mind. Here is your new daily practice. It only takes 5 minutes. 1. Sit down somewhere quiet, close your eyes, and relax. 2. Pick one of your unfinished projects. 3. And this is the most important part. Do not imagine yourself working on it. Instead, create a vivid, detailed mental movie of yourself completing the project. See yourself writing the final sentence and hitting send. Feel the satisfying click of the mouse. And 4, as you see this, feel the emotions. Feel that wave of pride wash over you. Feel the deep satisfaction. Feel the quiet confidence that comes from keeping a promise to yourself. Each time you do this, you are giving your brain a new memory. You are casting a vote for your new identity. You are giving your brain's built-in success mechanism a crystal clear, successful target to lock onto, making your eventual actions feel automatic and natural.
So what happens when you start doing this consistently? Well, something magical starts to happen. The beach ball stops trying to shoot to the surface. That constant feeling of strain, of fighting yourself, begins to dissolve. Because you understand your bodyguard, it stops pulling the fire alarm of procrastination. Because you've broken the spell of the lie, your brain no longer feels the need to prove you're a quitter. And because you've practiced finishing over and over in your mind, your brain's success mechanism now has a clear, compelling target to aim for. You will find yourself acting differently, more or less automatically. You won't have to force yourself to work on the project. You will simply be guided towards it because finishing is now becoming part of your new normal identity. You are resetting the thermostat 1 degree at a time. So where do you begin? With all these ideas, what is the one single thing you should do tonight to start this process? Your assignment tonight is not to work on your project. The old you would try to do that, and we're building the new you. Here is your real first step. This is the minimum viable habit for becoming a finisher. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to find just 5 minutes. Set a timer if you have to. And I want you to do one single session in the theater of your mind. That's it. The goal of this session is not to make progress on your business or your book. The goal is to feel what it feels like to be a finisher. The goal is to cast that first single powerful vote for your new identity. This isn't about changing what you do, it's about changing who you are. And that single vote is the most powerful first step you can possibly take. So my question for you is, what's the one project you're going to practice finishing in the theater of your mind tonight? Let me know down in the comments. Seriously, commit to it. I read as many as I can. And if this video helped you, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thanks for watching. Now go cast that vote.